So you have been consuming 1 liter of gin every day for 10 years. What made you start the gin habit?
I read through literature on alcohol and also was attending meetings of Alcoholic Anonymous. My uncle was also an alcoholic, and now he's sober for about 30 years. I think there are two factors: great resentment within me, and it's a obsessive personality. And something which has not been proved, it is said that it is also genetic. So some strain in some gene would have been there. But immediately it was great resentment and an obsessive personality, which made me go in for this habit. It was social drinking in school or college. It was very moderate. That wasn't that didn't trigger off. There would have been certain other triggers, as I said. The resentment factor and an obsessive personality. Only such a person becomes addicted. And particularly when you start drinking alone and when you do not know when to stop. Those are the first symptoms of an alcoholic.
Moderate drinking, social drinking, slowly graduated into a habitual drink.
That's right.
How did that graduation happen?
There were, number one, I never wanted to be a bureaucrat. As you initially said, I was very much interested in theatre, and I had performed along with the actors of National School of Drama. Now they are big film stars, etc. I wanted to pursue a career in arts, which I wasn't allowed to. And my father, that was the resentment factor. He was very keen that I become a bureaucrat. So I was literally forced to appear for the civil services. And after qualifying for the IPS, I wasn't allowed to join. So that became the resentment factor. And I was made to literally join the railways.
So you substituted your resentment with additional portions of liquor.
That's right.
What if you had found another substitute to your resentment other than alcohol? Perhaps like pursuing your theatre hobby, theatre interests.
I tried that, but that didn't give the kick. At that time, I just wanted something to alleviate what I perceived as I was being persecuted, but literally I was persecuting myself without really realizing it. And just wanted an alleviation and a kick. And if I might use the F word, that was the attitude. And most alcoholics have that, or most addicts have that. It borders on just arrogance.
So you handled an external resentment and an inner arrogance by repeating the habit of drinking liquor.
That's it.
You mentioned the word kick. Can you elaborate what is this kick?
That inner insecurity, you just try to overcome that, and you get to a higher state. You feel that you are elevated, and the others are scum. And at that time, you feel like, what the hell? What the hell is that chap doing? And I am much more superior in that state, that mental state, without realizing that what a fool you are. You are condemned by your family, by your friends, by your relatives, by your bosses, by your peers, and they have a big laugh at you. In fact, they call you for parties just to have fun at you. And there you have 6-7 pegs. By the time I reach the party, I'm already down. And there I have another 7-8 pegs, and people are laughing, and you think that you're entertaining them. You have nothing but just mocking at yourself, and those fellows are having a big laugh at your cost. They are having just their 2 pegs and just laughing at you. That is the kick. You think that, oh, see, look, all my seniors, and they are laughing at what I am doing. It's nothing but a very pitiable state.
So resentment, insecurity, and graduating to self-worth. So you wanted to defeat resentment and insecurity,
Yes.
and perhaps graduate to an experience of self-worth. So I think that is where you have substituted alcohol.
Yes.
But how does alcohol bring about a sense of self-worth?
An individual, basically, he cocoons himself from the external environment by having this substitute. And in that inebriated state, I was writing or whatever, you think that you're converting that negativity into something positive without realizing it. And that is what you think is self-actualization or self-worth, without realizing what the hell it is.
So in effect, you are using liquor to adjust an inner environment of your mind to deal with the hostile external environment.
That's right. That hostile environment was self-inflicted and created, and both ways. People were inimical to you, and you thought you can just get away by substituting the stuff.
So these are interesting. Moderate drinking, social drinking, graduating drinking as a habit, and then the other set of keywords are resentment, insecurity,
Obsessive personality, compulsive personality,
and a kick that gives you a sense of self-worth. Ultimately, you are adjusting an inner environment to deal with the hostile external environment. What did Alcoholics Anonymous, how did they help you to bring about that inner environment without liquor?
They have a meeting every day, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, where everybody shares. In fact, the very positive thing about AA is that even in a drunken state you can go there, but it is mandatory, those who join that, not mandatory, that they encourage people to come and share, and everybody shares their stories. People are smoking, drinks are not permitted, where people just share, and it's a therapeutic kind of a thing. Another thing is that it's very clearly said that it is one day at a time. You're sober and thank God for that sobriety. In fact, there is that prayer which I always keep. Can I just repeat it?
Yes.
It's the serenity prayer, that God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So this is something which one internalizes.
When you had the habit of drinking liquor, you found yourself disconnected from society, colleagues, and many portion of the environment. How did your immediate family connect or disconnect with your behavior?
I am extremely thankful to my wife who had and my parents who were supportive of me. In fact, all those who come out of this habit have to be extremely thankful to the divine power. Number one, the first step is we are absolutely powerless over the stuff. That the day that thing dawns on you, that is where one can start making the progress. I remember, my wife in tears, my children absolutely petrified. Evening 6 o'clock, the moment I used to reach the house, the way they used to just run away. How much they bore. When I was posted here in Hyderabad, every Saturday morning, reeking of alcohol, I used to reach Srinagar colony where my parents stayed, just to be away from liquor on Saturday and Sunday. But Saturday evening, somehow I used to find some excuse and go out, have a couple of cigs and come back. Sunday, my mother used to insist that you stay on, but I used to get back to my railway quarter and on the way again pick up a bottle. So she thought I'm sober at least those 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. But Sunday night, even after dinner, I used to start off.
You had thought that you want to resolve external issues by overpowering it, and the power within was triggered by alcohol. But then, how did you get an intention that you want to kick this habit?
When I was in Bikaner, at that time on the television, some of the songs of Art of Living, my daughter used to see them. It was Choti Choti Gaiya Lal Gopal. I think it's by Rishi Nikunjan. So some of that song fascinated me, and I told my wife, what is this? So she said, it's something to do with Art of Living. In Jaipur, when my consumption had really increased, she went to one of the centers of Art of Living, got a form, made me fill the form, and she said, you have to do this course. Prior to that, my mother wanted me to do Vipassana technique, but this mind as it is. At that time, what happened was this Pokhran, the Indian Parliament was attacked, and we were busy fortifying the borders, so I was involved in the train movement. So instead of doing the course, I told my mom, no, Amma, I'm busy with this, so I cannot go. Anyway, my wife made me fill this form, and I went and she said, you have to do this course. I said, okay. I said, I told her very clearly, look, I don't know how to drive. I knew how to drive, but I've lost all confidence. You have to drop me every day and bring me back. She said, fine. So in that cold winter, November, Jaipur, she used to take me at 5:30 in the morning for the class and bring me back. That was my first course, Part of Living, or Part 1 course in Jaipur, sometime in November 2003.
So in November 2003,
that was the first course.
You were impacted by Art of Living program in Jaipur.
In Jaipur, yes.
How did that program impact your habit of drinking alcohol?
It didn't stop. It still continued, and in fact, it aggravated. But it was continuing. But I had done the 2 kriyas, and something had hit me, and that when I reached my office after the second long kriya, my boss, his name is Mr. Matthew John. In fact, he is the uncle of Mr. Suresh Joseph. He is also from the Indian Railway Traffic Service. He said, man, your face is looking so fresh. What have you done today? You didn't drink last night. I said, no sir, I had. He said, but what happened? Sir, I've joined this course. It's called the Part 1 course of Art of Living. I said, okay, but anyway, you're looking very fresh. So maybe some seed was sown there. What it was, I don't know. But I was drinking. My teacher, he said, the next stage is you should do the Part 2 course. So I said, what is that? He said, you'll be in silence. And I said, no, I have to be at home. I cannot be. I was finding excuses so that I could be at home to drink. He said, no, you have to be here. Then he said, okay, we'll make a special exception for you, that you go back home, you come back, next morning you have to be here. By then I got transferred to Hyderabad. I was still drinking, but one thing I was doing, two things rather. One is, every day I was doing my short Sudarshan Kriya and offering my prayers. That I was doing without fail, irrespective of what I was drinking at night. These two things I was doing regularly. Here my father took me to a hospital. And that lady, she scanned my liver. She said, what is this? How are you surviving? What are you doing? You'll die if you keep drinking like this. So I said, doctor, I'm doing three things apart from drinking. One is I have buttermilk, I have Live 52, and I have done this part 1 course of Art of Living, and I'm practicing short Sudarshan Kriya every day. She said, she had done the course. She said, that is what is saving you.
So what is it in the Art of Living Part 1 that impacted you in the mind? And how did it impact the mind that then you chose that I want to get rid of this habit?
What happened was, for the first time in my life, I realized that what a fool I am. I was entertaining people. Basically, those fellows are. I thought I was entertaining people, but those are the chaps who are laughing at my cost, and I might be missing my promotion. My family has been castigated. My children are running away from me. So some kind of awareness had dawned on me, which wasn't there till then. For 1 month, relentlessly, I was having apparitions of His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. That was in November 2006. Till then I had not seen Guruji, but I was having his apparitions and also of Satya Sai Baba. Prior to that, there was another very interesting incident. I'll just share it. When I was posted as Senior Divisional Operations Manager Guntakal, I went to Mantralayam, Raghavendra Swami's Matham. I carried with me a bottle of liquor and I went into the mutt. My aunties were waiting for me after we had taken the parikrama, that I'll come there and have dinner. I was just finding an excuse, so I had my bath and I went to the room and believe it or not, there was not a drop of liquor in that bottle. It didn't break, the seal didn't break, the entire liquor was on the carpet and my puja material was there along with my savior, you can say, my part 1 course material. That booklet I always carry. So those two things were there. So I said, it's fascinating. I mean, my aunt came, both my aunts, and they saw that the entire carpet was the room was stinking of gin. There was not a drop in that bottle, and then they saw that book. I said, there is something. I think they said, this is a signal for you, Ravi, now you stop. So some seed was sown. So happened then, now that flashback is over, after those apparitions, then I happened to, somebody rang up my mother and she said, there is a part 2 course taking place, please tell your son if he is interested to do it. So she said, what is part 2 course? So that lady said it is an advanced meditation technique, please tell your son to do it. So those were, I think 10 days had happened, I didn't touch liquor. So my mother, she said, okay, I'll ask my son to meet you. So happened to be, now she's a teacher of Art of Living and both of us are working in the railways, promoting Art of Living. Happened to be Chitra Anna. So I went to their house and enrolled myself. Prior to that, there was a little squabble between Chitra ji and my mother about the money part. Because she didn't know, she wanted me to give the money right then. So my mother didn't want me to carry, I think it was 2,500 rupees. She didn't know the reason. So I went enrolled, and that night at Manasaganga Ashram, Gandipet, she said, Ravi, what was that? Why didn't you get the money? Why did your mother insist? Then I told her, Chitra ma'am, reason was that my mother was scared that I might use that for drinking. So then I narrated my story.
Did the art of living part 2 help you to stop the habit of having liquor?
Yes, those were 4 days I was away from which I came to know through your course, Divya Samaj Nirman, the boundaries and our limitations, that I wanted to be in that confinement of my house, all the time. Those were the 4 days after 10 years where I was alone, away from my family, in silence, and really enjoying the silence without liquor. It was really, by then it was a month, but those 4 days, His Holiness Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji was on.
Beginning with moderate drinking to social drinking, experiencing resentment and insecurity, and graduating to self-worth, and converting arrogance into awareness. Your journey has been very dramatic.
One more interesting thing happened, Guruji. I attended the second part 2 course that was in the ashram, Bangalore ashram. And you are such a senior teacher, I need not tell you, there was another person sitting next to me whom I didn't know. There were 1,000 people from Andhra there. So His Holiness was meeting individually. So he met that person sitting next to me, he broke down. So then Guruji came to me, passed by my side, I fell down at his feet, broke down and thanked him that, Guruji, you have just taken me out of this morass. So in his inimitable style, he said, both of you shared your story with the whole world. Saying so, he just went away. Then I asked this chap, he was a software engineer. He said, why did he tell this to you? I know my problem. He said, he's an alcoholic. I said, my goodness, 1,000 people, we're just 2 of us, and how come just 2 of us are sitting next to each other? And why should he turn around and say this? Both of you share this with the whole world. So I have no inhibition now to talk about my problem, or perceive that problem, because now in railways, by the grace of His Holiness, we are conducting courses, and by his compassion, I am a part 1 teacher. I can never even think that this man 10 years back, what he was, about myself. And we are coming across, running staff, those who run our trains, drivers, guards, station masters, who are also afflicted with a similar problem. And we are conducting courses with them. If they are in such a state, the lives of thousands of people would be at danger. It has been videographed. Our divisional railway manager at Trichy, Mr. P.V. Vaidyanathan, who has also done the course, he has videographed loco pilots. Loco pilot, I don't remember his name, he said he broke down after the second long Sudarshan Kriya, and said that after 20 years he slept. Same thing happened with another driver, loco pilot, who was only seeing signals for 20 years. And he said for the first time in 20 years he slept. So prophetic those words were of His Holiness Shri Shri Ravi Shankar, who said, you share the story with the whole world. We are just nothing when he said such a thing. The vision and how he perceived us to be small tools in the mission.
So obviously, you had a search and your completion would have arrived only with awareness and self-worth. How did Art of Living program give you self-worth and awareness?
The first awareness was, of course, between sobriety and being in a drunken state. Second, what society thinks about you. And today, when I walk into Rail Nilayam, people really look up to me. That this man, 10 years back, when 2004, when he came here, what a state he was. And now he's so different, which is inspiring people to be with us. Thirdly, that dejection, that rejection, feeling of rejection and self-denial has got converted through various courses of Art of Living. Then we've found that events are happening on its own, whether it's courses or my own life. When I did my Part 2 course, that was my first visit abroad, and otherwise my mother wouldn't have even thought that I would go, or my parents. Well, liquor was being served and I just didn't want it. I was totally contented. And automatically things started happening. Then I could get my promotion, now what equivalent to Joint Secretary to Government of India, which people, my colleagues, never even dreamt that such a transformation could happen. Recently there was a conference of senior traffic officers here, right here. People were drinking in this very club, and someone just out of the blue came and said, Ravi, Art of Living courses has changed you so much. You don't know how many people in railways and outside who have come to know your story are doing this course. I said it's all His grace.
So there has been a disparity between your external world and internal world, and liquor was a leveler.
That's right.
So now you have found another kind of spirit, right? From alcoholic spirit to another kind of spirit called the Art of Living, or your self-worth and awareness is another kind of spirit, which is actually a leveler for you between the external and internal world. You have come a long way, you have kicked the habit, and you have chosen to do the right thing instead of doing the easy thing. And not only that, you have graduated yourself, Ravi. Congratulations, you have become an asset to society, and you have converted yourself from being a liability to currently an asset to society by becoming an Art of Living teacher. And professionally, within the family, socially, and in many ways you have been a great asset, and I wish you a great success in all your endeavors hereafter. Thank you very much.